Hello, hello. I am live. I know I'm a little bit early right now. Hang on, let me close this bathroom door. Hello, hello. Welcome. My name is Ryan Kearns. I got Lyme disease 5-6 years ago. Healed it holistically, became a holistic nutritionist, started helping other people, and now I'm here helping you. And I want to start by saying you can take back your body and you can feel like yourself again. Okay, I know that it can be hard sometimes, but I want you to know that it's possible. I want you to know that I've done it. I want you to know that I've helped other people do it, and I've seen the transformations that can happen, and you can take back your body. I fully believe and know that you can. If you've tried and failed, it's not your fault, okay? It's completely normal. It's because you're in a system that doesn't fully support you. You're in a system that doesn't really allow you to get better. And that's not your fault. Who could blame you for that? Okay, so don't worry. If you've tried things in the past, let's say you've tried the supplements, the herbs, the antibiotics, let's say you've tried everything. If you've tried and it just didn't work, it's not your fault. It's not your body that's messed up. It's not you that's messed up, and you're not messing this up. It's just that you're in a system that's broken. Today, we're going to fix that system and give you a new one that you can use in order to make decisions and go through the process step by step in order to get better. And so I'm really, really glad you're here. But if you've tried and failed things in the past, just know that you can get rid of those. You can completely let those slide away because it is not your fault. And I know that this can be scary. In fact, it can be a huge emotional roller coaster. There's ups and downs. You're scared, you're sad, you're happy, you're in between, you're not knowing what's going on next. It's scary to have a disease where doctors don't know as much as they do about other diseases. It's very common for doctors to not really know what to do next. And it's even common for doctors to call their patients crazy when they think that they have Lyme disease. And so if you're in that situation, I know how scary that can be. I know that when I got diagnosed with Lyme disease and my heart rate dropped to 30 beats per minute, I was absolutely terrified. I was actually thinking God, I hope my kids don't have to grow up without a father. Because I have 2 kids, and it just scared me to death to think that I would be pulled away from them and they wouldn't be able and allowed to have a father in their life. And so that completely terrified me when I got Lyme disease, and it actually got me to think about really important things in the future, and it got me to kind of think in like a near-death experience type of way where I started to see things that I didn't see before. Because when you realize that your time on earth is finite, you start to look at things a little bit differently. And it totally changed the way that I looked at my life and my career and my family and my relationships. It changed everything from that moment on. So I know it can be scary, it can be an emotional roller coaster, but I'm glad you're here and you're strapped in for the ride. So traditional medicine fails Lyme victims every single day. I know you know this. If you're here, you're probably familiar with the fact that most doctors just don't really have any clue about Borrelia burgdorferi, Bartonella, Babesia, all the co-infections that come with Lyme disease, how to treat them, how to find out if you have Lyme disease. They don't even have a good way to diagnose it yet. And so traditional medicine itself, the system, the total system, it's not like one person's fault. It's not the doctor's fault that you have Lyme disease and that they can't really seem to fix it. It's the traditional medical system that fails Lyme victims every single day. And if you ever thought it's like they want you to stay sick, this is getting into like a little bit of controversial areas and conspiracy type thinking. I don't want to say that they actually want you to stay sick, because I hope and I pray that that's not true. But if you ever pay attention and look at the system, you'll realize that doctors get paid more to have more patients which means they get to see each patient for a minimum amount of time, which gives them more time and efficiency, which allows them to grow their business. And so basically they're rewarded for the wrong things. They're rewarded when they're able to increase their time, not when they're able to increase the amount of patients that they have that are well. And so they don't want you to stay sick, but if you stay sick, it doesn't hurt them because you stay in the system and you continue to be a paying customer. Even if you're using insurance, the insurance company pays the doctor. They're still getting paid every time they see you. So you're just a customer to them. And so if you stay sick, then you stay a customer. Now, I'm not saying that doctors are evil or doctors don't have your best interest or anything like that, but all I'm saying is that they're rewarded in a strange way that makes the system so that they don't actually have your best interest in mind, just based on the system, not because of who they are as people. Okay, but you can, I want to reiterate, I'm going back to what I already said, you can take back your body. I know that you can do it because I've seen it done by myself, by my friends, my family, by my clients. I've seen this happen over and over again when you follow a system that actually works, a process that really works at not only healing Lyme disease, but to be honest, to really realign your body back into homeostasis and balance in a way that allows you to move forward with the correct steps, the correct decisions, right? We're talking about a framework to make decisions, a framework of how to view the world, right? Most of the battle is how you're perceiving everything. If you think that a microbe came into your body and made you sick, and now this microbe needs to get the hell out, you may be right. But at the same time, if you have that viewpoint, it may not be the best way for you to heal your body from the inside out. You're not necessarily trying to nuke and bomb and kill this microbe that's in your body. There may be a way where you can build a symbiotic relationship with this microbe so that you can live a fine, healthy, amazing, thriving life with this microbe within your body. So it's not always about just killing and crushing the thing that's hurting you, although that's a lot of times how it seems in the traditional medical system as well. And so today I'm going to share with you a holistic healing framework that is what I've developed over the past 5 years with healing Lyme disease, researching Lyme disease, talking to people who have Lyme disease every single day, making YouTube videos about Lyme disease, answering people's questions, really just diving in. I've been in the Lyme disease space for 5 years now, so I finally feel like I'm at a place where I can actually start to contribute to the community and start to contribute scientifically and through pattern recognition and through just talking to people and being available and helping people with holistic nutrition, herbs, healthy, conscious living. I'm able to have a bigger picture of what's going on, and I'm able to actually help at this point. And I'm so excited. I hope you guys are ready. I like, this is super exciting stuff for me, and hopefully it's helpful to everybody who watches this, because I just really want to make sure that we can get the most people who have Lyme disease to finally start feeling like themselves again, taking back their body. And I know that you can do this, okay? I mean, we have two quick testimonials. After getting Lyme disease and going through all the symptoms, Ryan was there with his healing framework that helped me win back my health. That's my friend James. I helped him for free. I was there the whole time. I went to him when he was on his couch with a blanket, sick as could be, and helped him really get better through Lyme disease and get through it to the other side, where now, he's back to normal. We were running trails not too long ago through the woods, just running full speed through the hiking trails, which was absolutely, if you've never done that, it's different than running just around your neighborhood or on the sidewalk when you're in nature. It's just, there's something special about it. But anyway, then my sister's friend Kelsey got Lyme disease. These are two people that aren't clients of mine. They're just friends. They're in my life. They're part of my family. Also, my Aunt Joanne one time just called me out of nowhere. Ryan, my friend has Lyme disease. What can you do to help? Because these people in my life, they know that I've studied Lyme disease for years and years and years, and that I have this framework and this knowledge around Lyme disease that I've built up over a period of 5+ years. And now I'm finally sharing it with you. But the framework at LymeWars is what helped me the most. I think the world needs this more than anything right now. And that was Kelsey. That's my sister's friend. We got connected through my sister when her friend got Lyme disease. Kelsey, I was able to help her out. I came in and did everything that I possibly could, gave her all the tips for eating, what to eat, what herbs to use, what supplements to use. We looked at her lab work. We looked at every single piece of how she could get better herself. And that's really what we're talking about today. We're not going to go over something where it's just like, here's the key. Now everybody can do this. We are, but there's a lot of nuances. You're going to see there's a lot of things that we need to look at together. So let's go through this. This is the holistic healing framework. I hope you're ready. Drum roll, please. This is so exciting for me. So let's go. Boom. It looks like this. And you're like, the hell is that? It's 2 triangles and an infinity symbol. What is that? Right? And I'm going to get to it in a moment, but I actually like the way this is. It's kind of cool, kind of how it goes on an angle. The infinity goes on an angle with it. It looks pretty cool. I would actually wear a t-shirt that had that on it. And if you would too, comment below, let me know. Maybe we can start to make some t-shirts to remind you about what the holistic healing framework is so you can implement it in your life. And I can give those away for free. If you comment below, let me know. Let's know if we should make these, and I'll give you one for free if you comment. So the whole idea, we have to first come to an understanding that the whole idea of health and being healthy is the idea of balance, right? And the reason for that is because we don't want too much of anything, right? Everything in the world has this sense of duality. It has this sense of 2 things at the same time, right? Like, we don't want to be happy all the time 24/7, but we don't want to be sad all the time 24/7. We want to be somewhere in the middle. We want to be happy and sad. When we're using water to wash our hands, we don't want it to be way too hot or way too cold. We want it to be right in the middle. We want it to be warm, right? You could just find millions and millions of examples of this idea of duality and of balance. And the reason is that's the way that nature works, right? And this dates back, centuries and centuries. It's always been around, the idea of order and chaos, the idea of just opposites existing together as a duality in the world. So that's what the yin yang is. It's the dark part and the light part. I've seen it as a serpent before as well. 2 serpents, a white serpent and a black serpent. These are all just symbols that you see throughout history when it comes to just the idea of duality and balance in life, right? We don't want to be super, super well rested where we're like basically sleeping in our chair all day long, but we also don't want to have so much energy that we're bouncing off the walls and we can't go to sleep, right? We want to be sleepy when it's time to go to bed, and we want to be awake when it's time to be awake. That's just another example of duality as well. So I could sit here and come up with like 100 examples of how duality exists in nature and in our lives, but I think you get the point. I think you're starting to understand that there is duality, and to ignore the fact that most things have a push and a pull, an in and an out, an up and a down. Most things have these dualities as part of them. Like Tony Robbins always talks about the 6 human needs, right? And he talks about certainty and variety, right? We need both of those things. Those are opposites. We need certainty. We need to know for a fact this is going to happen every single day. I have my routine. I have my schedule. This is what it's going to be. And we all need that in varying measures. Some people need it to be like every hour there's a plan. Every minute there's a plan. And other people need it to be more variety, right? They need to, even the people that like it certain, they need to add in some variety so that they can feel like something interesting is going on. Otherwise, it's just humdrum day in, day out, boring, nonstop nonsense. But if there's some kind of interesting thing that comes in, some variable, some kind of date night with your wife, some fun little thing that wasn't planned that you just, let's go to the restaurant tonight. All right, let's do it. And then boom, it's spontaneity, and that zest for life comes from that variety sometimes. So that's just another example of duality. I thought I'd throw in one last one. So that's variety and certainty. So those are opposites, but we need both of them in order to feel good. So everything in life is these dualities. Everything in nature is these dualities, right? Trees need sunshine, but they also need rain. And so I think you get the point now. Duality exists in nature, in life, and that's just part of it. This is another, I like this drawing. It's chaos and order, right? Everything on this side is all jumbled up and crazy and all this stuff's going on. We don't know what it is, but then we start to unravel it and make it a nice perfect circle, and that is order. So chaos and order is a really big one that I like, and it's in Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life. He talks a lot about chaos and order. I love that book. And now let's get into the actual steps of this holistic healing framework. So now that you understand that there needs to be balance, right? The whole goal of everything is balance. In our health, we're really striving for homeostasis, right? We want our hormones to be balanced. We don't want, to have all of a sudden our testosterone is through the roof and our estrogen is like down to the floor. I mean, some people want that. That's called a bodybuilder or a steroid user. But we want to have balance even in our hormones so that our body can do the right things at the right time, right? So that we can sleep when we should be sleeping. We can be awake and have energy when we're awake. We need to have this up and down, this duality. And so the left triangle is going to be the inside out triangle. Okay, so we're going to work from inside out. So from the inside out, the first thing that we want to do is get lab works done, get evaluations. This is self-evaluation or evaluation from a healthcare provider, from a health coach, from somebody maybe even with just your spouse, you could do an evaluation together. It's a fun little date night, right? So when we get this lab work, right, blood work is the number one thing we can look at. Saliva is probably second, and that's when we're looking at the circadian rhythm. But we want to look at blood work and make sure that our levels are all not normal, but optimized, right, on your life. Like, for example, a professional athlete needs different levels of minerals and vitamins than a couch potato would need, right? They're going to burn through a lot faster. They're probably going to need more sodium because they're going to sweat out a lot more salt. There's a lot of different factors that go in, and you need to take into consideration that you are a unique individual who has a unique set of circumstances and life decisions going on in your life. And so we look at the blood work and we try to come up with an optimized zone and try and make sure that everything is optimized from the inside out so that we know, okay, there's deficiencies here, here, and here. So we're going to add this, this, and this. We're going to, make decisions based off of this lab work and this evaluation. But the first step is really just doing the work to have the self-evaluation and the lab work done. So you have blood work, you have self-evaluation, meaning, a daily tracker. What are you eating every day? How much are you sleeping every day? How much water are you drinking every day? How much exercise are you doing every day? What are you doing with your body every single day? And that evaluation and lab work is what's going to give us a bunch of data to then make decisions down the road. And I'll get to that in a minute. The other parts of the inside out are rest, which is, are you giving your body a day off every now and then? Once a week at least, right? Are you giving your body time to go to bed? Are you waking up at the same day every day? Same time every day. A lot of people can benefit actually from just waking up at the same time every day because your body gets on this rhythm then, and you'll start to go to bed at the correct time in order to make up for that time that you're waking up. So even just setting an alarm in the morning, even if you don't need one, can actually help with your rest cycle. And so setting an alarm every day, waking up at the same time every single day really helps get your body aligned so that you're doing the same thing every day, which then actually increases your rest rate a lot. And you're able to recover faster, you're able to rebuild and repair a lot of the structures that are taking damage from Lyme microbes right now, and repair and restructure anything that's already previously damaged before you started showing Lyme disease symptoms as well. So the rest is, I think it's really underrated and undervalued in life, how much sleep can do for your health. It is literally the controller for every single hormone, every single endorphin in your body. It needs that sleep in order to reset, recalibrate, and give back, repair your body, right? Because we're constantly hurting and tearing our muscles and using our body in different ways, so that the better we get at resting, it's really going to help from the inside out. And some people take this the wrong way. They think rest and they think, oh, let me just sit on the couch and watch Netflix all day and that's some good rest. Like, no, we're talking resting the brain. We're talking meditation practices. We're talking taking time where you're not consuming any content, no YouTube videos, no podcasts, no books, nothing. You're just present in the moment with yourself, maybe focusing on your breath. Maybe just, saying prayers, some kind of spiritual practice is good for this as well. But resting is very, very powerful. I can go on I could do a whole training on each one of these pieces. So I'm going to move on now, but just know that rest is really important. I am actually going to do a whole training on each one of these pieces, but I'm not sure if I'm going to make it available on YouTube or only available for my clients that really want this stuff the most. But I will let you all know about that. I definitely need to do the training either way because my clients need it. And this is exactly what I go through with all of my clients anyway, but I'm just doing it for you in this quicker format on this live video on this beautiful Sunday. By the way, congratulations to Argentina winning the World Cup today. That was absolutely exhilarating. Crazy game. Loved it. And that brings me to zest. Okay? What's more zesty than going to, support your favorite soccer team? Let's say if you're an Argentina fan, going to the actual game and being there, like that must have been electric, incredible, the most amazing day in your entire life. How often do you give yourself permission to have that amazing of a day or of a life, right? How many hobbies do you have? How many positive relationships do you have? How much support do you have around you at all times in your family and in your relationships and your friendships, right? That zest for life needs to be built into our life on purpose. If we just say, yeah, I'll do it when I get to it, I'll start a hobby when I have extra time, or I'll make friends when I finally have the career that I want. That's not how it works. Okay, you're not going to be able to check off all the boxes and stay healthy and get rid of Lyme disease if you don't have something to look forward to, something that lights you up, excites you, gets you purpose driven, whether it's painting or walking or exercising or maybe it's drawing, or it could be washing your car, like something so simple but just gives you pleasure, something that gives you that unique sense of responsibility and pleasure in doing the task. That is really what I'm talking about when I'm talking about zest. Okay, that along with friendships, social life, supportive relationships, loving, healthy relationships with people. And sometimes we even have to talk about getting rid of unhealthy relationships if it's causing too much stress in your life. Now, I think you'll find that a lot more often than not, some of the problems that are involved with Lyme disease have to do with stress. And the reason for that is because of inflammation. Lyme disease, almost every single symptom is tied directly to inflammation caused by the microbe. They cause a cytokine cascade that happens in order to increase the inflammation, which causes the breakdown of tissues, cartilage, collagen, and the microbes love to eat that stuff. So they eat it right up, they love it, they reproduce, they live in your body, and then they try and get to another host. So they basically are hijacking the immune system. They're causing the immune system to overreact. And so it's our job to come in and try to calm it down a little bit a lot of the time. And that comes from rest, where your body's being repaired from the inside out. It also comes from lowering your stress levels. A lot of times our stress levels are so high, especially in the modern world where our phone is dinging and there's this message over here and this, there's computers everywhere. There's just messages and advertising flying at us. Everything is at the speed of light and super fast. It's very easy to get anxiety, get anxious and stressed out and think that you need to move faster than you currently are. unless you kind of step away from it all, go out in nature, go out, breathe some fresh air, and realize that, you know, you're on a big spinning ball going through the galaxy, and, you know, everything is going to be okay. And that things don't actually matter as much as you think they do. That's when you can start to put things in perspective. Your stress levels drop, and if you can keep your stress levels nice and low, it really helps with your inflammation in the body, because you're not releasing all that cortisol that causes, you know, that causes things to get a little bit jacked up. Cortisol is great. We need cortisol to be released, especially in the morning time. It gets us amped up and ready to go. But at a prolonged duration of time, it really starts to wear on the body. It can really lower your immune system, and it can really make it harder to heal from Lyme disease. So lowering stress is one of the number one things that we can do. And that is the inside out portion. So we have lab work and evaluation, we have rest, we have zest, and now we have to balance all that side out with the other side, which is the outside in. So now we're talking about things outside of us that can come in. Now, I want to just tell you something real quick. I made a video about this framework, and this framework was slightly different than it is now. So I just want to clarify that I've been working on this for over 5 years, and I'm still making tweaks and changes, little tiny tweaks and changes as I work on it with other people. I'm able to see what areas I was wrong or doesn't quite fit as well as I thought it would. So this one is the best one up to this point. So if you see a video with a different one, it might be an old one or it might be a brand new one. Either way, it's just because we're constantly reiterating and looking at the total process, trying to make it better and easier for you to implement. All this stuff is great, but if you don't do any of it, if you don't take action and use this framework, then it's all for naught. And I don't want to do that. I really want you to see results. That's my number one priority. So I want to make this as actionable as possible. And so I did have to change a few things. But anyway, I just wanted to clear that up because you may see another video where it looks different. Could be an old version, could be a new version. We'll figure it out. So outside in, we've got the first thing, food and supplements and H2O, hydration, right? So these are all the things that you're basically putting into your body every single day. Obviously, this could even include things like cigarettes, coffee, things that you would think of it in a negative context when it comes to health. What is coming from the outside into your body? And so food and supplements are going to be one of the top ways that we use. So if we go back over to inside out, you see lab work and evaluation. Once we have all these results and all of this data, we start to make decisions on this side. What food should I eat to fill the gaps in my nutrition? And we always want to start with food, not supplements. We want to try and get as much of the nutrients as we possibly can out of actual food, because it's better absorbed by the body. It's a more natural way to live. It's more aligned with the way that your body wants to live, right? We don't want to be taking powders and pills all the time to try and fill the gaps. We would much rather be able to fill those gaps using food and nutrients that are actually growing out of the ground, or like, you know, if there's a God or if there's whatever put all this stuff on earth for us, it's beautiful and it's amazing that we have the ability to get food from the earth. And so there's something to that. And my point is just that we try to get our nutrients from food as much as possible. If we can't get something from food, we then supplement that in. And then hydration, a lot of people think about, I know I didn't write hydration here. Usually it says /H2O or /hydration. A lot of people think about drinking water like, oh, do I drink enough water today? One sec, this just gave me the idea to drink some water. Well, people don't usually realize that it's more so, or at least it's a big part of it, is electrolytes, right? How much sodium, potassium, magnesium is in your water, right? You need those electrolytes in your water in order for, first of all, for the water to even work correctly and for the water to even be absorbed and consumed by the body. Otherwise, it's kind of just going right through you. And also, you need those electrolytes in order to just have a base level of normal mineral content in your blood. And so being hydrated isn't just about water, it's also about the minerals, because for a very long time we were getting our water naturally from the earth and there was a ton of minerals in the water. These days we have bottled water, all of our water is treated, and we don't really have very many minerals in it unless we know what we're doing and we make sure that our water has minerals. So that's something important to think about when you're thinking about hydration. Like, yes, you drink a lot of water, but do you have the right amount of minerals in the water that you're drinking? Recently, I got a blood test and I found out that I was super low in sodium. And I go, what? Why would I be low in sodium? Oh yeah, it's because I've been working out for 2 days, 2 times a day for the past, almost a year now. And so I was sweating more than I was able to replace the sodium in my body. And so I started using liquid IV, which has sodium and potassium and magnesium. Actually, I don't think it has magnesium, but it has sodium and potassium in it. And that replenishes my body after I work out a lot. And so when I sweat it out of my skin, I'm able to replenish that sodium. And that helped me so much. I feel so much better all the time because of it. And so there's just little things like that you'll never know without actually going through the evaluation and the lab work. But we want to fill all the gaps with our food. We also want to eat the best, highest quality food we can, organic food, if we can, at all times. If we can't, it's okay, but just try your best to get organic food because the pesticides and GMOs that are in non-organic food can be problematic, and there's a ton of new science coming out about this, and it does not look good. It doesn't look good at all. I always try to get organic food, and that's what you should probably do if you're trying to heal from Lyme disease. And the other thing is I try to push people towards healthy fats when it comes to Lyme disease because it tends to help the joints. It lowers inflammation. So we're talking about things like avocado, fish, anything with high omega-3s, seaweed. There's some really good seaweeds out there, sushi. We have, what else? Nuts and seeds, tree nuts like walnuts or pecans, or seeds like flax seed and like poppy seeds and like sesame seeds. All those seeds have omega-3s in them as well. So high fat and high cruciferous vegetables are usually your best bet. So we're talking about cabbage, broccoli, asparagus, Brussels sprouts. Those types of vegetables, they don't spike your insulin super high. They're very, very rich in vitamins and minerals, and they're not extremely, they're not super over-oxidative, and they're also not going to cause any inflammation. They're really helpful for Lyme disease for that reason. They give you the things that you need without the stuff that you don't want. So those are just some food ideas that I like to tell everyone right from the beginning. And then to avoid things like sugar and alcohol and anything that causes inflammation. Dairy is a big one. Okay, so those are some of the food recommendations that I normally give. Again, I could do a whole section on just food, and I will. But today, I'm just touching on each of these. The next part is environment. So at first I had environment as hydration, but then we changed it. We said hydration is really just part of food and supplements, right? It's just part of your mineral content and how if you're drinking enough water. Environment, now this is important. Environment could be, how clean is your house? Is your bathroom clean? Is your desk clean? Is your living room clean? Do you need to take the time in order to clean up your house? Because that has an actual effect on our brain, on our chemistry. It has an effect on our body. When our environment is a complete mess and all chaotic, that is how we'll feel on the inside. It's really, really great to have an environment that's built for your health, right? And to have a lot of green plants around, and have things around that remind you of healthy living and that remind you of nature. Those types of just little environment tweaks that you can do are really, really powerful. Now, another thing that goes into environment is something like hot exposure, cold exposure. One thing that I loved for Lyme disease, and I still use to this day, is a sauna. And that allows you to just really open up your pores and get sweat out of the body, which is one of the great detox pathways, right? There's only really 3 ways to get rid of junk in your body, and it's pee, poop, or sweat. So sweat is one of the only ways that we can get rid of things out of our body. So we have to utilize that. And I found that actually saunas can help with Herxheimer reactions, because Herxheimer reactions are directly tied to detox pathways. If you can't detox out any debris or dead microbes or encysted microbes, then that's when you get the reactions. The reactions are actually the ability to clean up the debris is affected. The ability to detox out the debris is messed up. So that happens when your detox pathways are not fully open, or they're clogged, or they're not working properly, or they're just not turned on. But if you're sweating often, I mean, like, you could do the sauna every day if you wanted to. There's no real science against it. I've seen a lot of recommendations for 2 times a week. That there's a lot of science that proves that that's very, very good for heart health and for all-cause mortality. Actually, it's been shown to lower all-cause mortality to just go in a sauna twice a week, which is incredible. And it just opens up your skin and allows you to get rid of and detox the body in that way. So I highly, highly recommend saunas for Lyme disease. I actually got a sauna from Amazon. It was like $130, and I've had it for a year now. I use it twice a week for the past 2 months. I've been using it recently. I used it before that, but then I stopped for a little. But the past 2 months, I've been using it twice a week. No problems whatsoever, and it's portable. It's only like $130. It's kind of weird. It's like a little tent, and only your head sticks out. But don't let it fool you. Your head will still sweat like crazy once your body heats up inside of that tent like a boiling frog, and and you start dripping sweat everywhere. But it's so good for your body to be able to get rid of all those toxins through the skin. So that's just an idea. And then there's cold exposure as well. Cold exposure, I would be surprised if it was ever linked directly to Lyme disease, but it can be very beneficial for your mental just attitude, right? Your discipline, your ability to withstand cold temperatures can be built over time, and it has a profound effect on the body. It can also help with lowering inflammation. So if you're like in a lot of pain, it might be good to also experiment with cold exposure. I don't love cold exposure myself because it's just hard to get yourself to want to do it. And there's no actual direct application of Lyme disease besides possibly lowering some inflammation for you. But the thing is, once you get out, then there will be a big rush of blood to all the areas that were cold. So it kind of goes the other way eventually anyway. So that's up to you. But those are some ideas behind environment, right? How can you change your environment to get the things that you need? And, you know, if we go back to what I was saying before, Tony Robbins' 6 human needs, you have certainty, variety, significance. So certainty and variety, how can you make your environment clean and nice so it's certain that everything's going to be set up correctly and where you need it to be? But also variety, like how can you keep it interesting? How can you change things up? How can you have some plants or have something alive? Like creating your environment in a way that allows you to feel like the best version of yourself every single day can be extremely, extremely helpful. And, you know, it's crazy because traditional doctors might actually laugh at the fact that this would be a recommendation to clean up your house if you're feeling sick. But the truth is, we don't live in a vacuum. Right? The germs in our body are not in a vacuum that are just fighting with other germs one-on-one, right? There's a million other factors. Our stress levels directly affect our immune system. Our exposure to light in the morning directly affects our hormone release. Like there's a ton of little different nuanced things going on at all times. They're all connected together. And to assume that your environment doesn't have a direct impact on your health is naive, and it's just not, it's 100% true that your environment has an effect on your health. But I bet 90% of medical doctors would argue with that, because it's like a low-hanging fruit. It's just like the easy thing to argue against. Like it doesn't make any scientific sense per se, but it's 100% true in practiced reality and experience. You can experience the difference in the way you feel just by having a clean desk, a clean kitchen, a clean bathroom, a clean house. You will feel way better, way different than if everything is messy and cluttered up. And you know it's true, I know it's true. This is just a thing that we all experienced in life. It's just like obvious, really, for people that have lived life for any amount of time. So it's just funny that the different viewpoints, some doctors think the only way to heal is by using drugs, using, pharmacy, using chemistry, and creating things that attack symptoms and get rid of symptoms. When in reality, the entire picture of your being is what needs to be in balance. It doesn't need to be fixed. Nothing's broken. You just need to change things until they're completely in a balanced state. And that word balance is not sexy. It's not fun. It's not extreme. It's kind of bland and vanilla. It's balance, right? It's just balance, like just balance, right? But it's so important. Like, I want to turn it into a sexy word somehow. I want it to be your go-to. I want it to be your guiding light. You should be striving towards balance rather than, towards anything else. Like, yeah, we all want to have a thriving, amazing, successful, happy, extremely healthy, constantly vibrantly energetic life. But that's not quite that's not how you get there. Is through balance, right? You get there through balancing the dualities of life. Okay? And so all these things are so important for that reason. So medicinal herbs is the final outside-in step. Now, medicinal herbs are extremely powerful for Lyme disease. They actually have direct ties to things that can help modulate your immune system. They have things that can help rebuild and restructure cells that get damaged from Lyme disease microbes. They have things that can increase your immune system to healthier levels far beyond what you could do just by lowering stress levels. And they have, it's insane the amount that medicinal herbs have done for me specifically. I still use them to this day, usually for different reasons other than Lyme disease. I'm not trying to heal Lyme disease anymore, but I use different herbs for different reasons. For example, there's some herbs that help boost testosterone. And so I use those because last time I did a blood test, my testosterone was lower than I wanted it to be. Just being completely honest and open with you. So I use some medicinal herbs in order to increase that, and I've seen it increasing now over time, and it's amazing. Medicinal herbs are so underrated. They're the most used thing ever, right? They're plants that have been around for millions of years, and we've been using them as a society, as Homo sapiens. We've been using them for forever, thousands of years. We have so much data on these medicinal herbs that it's almost untrue. Like it's too much data. We have so much data that we know nobody gets hurt from medicinal herbs. Nobody, you can have an allergic reaction, I guess, but it's very rare because these are just plants that grow outside. So you won't see an allergic reaction as often as you would see an allergic reaction to, say, potatoes, or it's not like there's a ton of allergic reactions happening. They're just very, very rare. But medicinal herbs have completely changed the way that humans started healing from disease. And it actually made it possible to really use restorative therapy in order to rebuild your body from a base level up. Now, this is kind of hard to understand, but the way that I understand it is traditional medicine, a lot of times, they're known for burning, slashing, and killing things, right? Antibiotics, they just come in and kill the microbes, right? You got burning, like chemotherapy is a good example. They use radiation to just try and kill off the cancer cells, but it hurts the human in the process as well. The thing with medicinal herbs is they're not a heroic type of therapy. They're not just going to come in and boom, the problem is fixed. It's not like you could take antibiotics or you could take medicinal herbs and it's just like an antibiotic. They're two completely different things. Medicinal herbs are more for restoring normal, balanced levels of health, which is exactly what we want to do. Overshooting this, overcompensating and making our immune system super duper strong would have the opposite effect. We might actually see some symptoms where our body starts to break itself down and fight itself. In other words, autoimmunity, if our immune system gets too jacked up and too crazy. And so we want to restore balance. Again, the whole goal is balance. That's the number one thing I want you to commit to from now on, is trying to reach balance. And look, maybe it's not the sexiest word. Maybe it's not the best, most eye-catching, fun word ever. However, if you're able to shoot for balance, I think anybody can do that, right? It kind of lowers the bar for you. Take some stress off your shoulders. Take some, solace in the fact that you're just reaching for balance. You don't have to rebuild yourself into Superman or Superwoman. You don't have to rebuild your body into like this unstoppable force. What we're doing here is we're using things like rest, hobbies, supportive relationships, building a positive environment, using medicinal herbs they're like the best things ever. Like I could talk about medicinal herbs probably for like 3 days instead of 1 day. And then we have food, eating the right food, supplements, and then it all starts with doing the right lab work and evaluations to figure out what it is that you actually need. But when we start to fill all these holes and gaps, that's when we start to see balance. And when we start to see balance, that's when we start to feel the actual results of getting better. We start to restore our body back to where it was. We start to feel like ourselves again and take back control of everything. So this is the holistic healing framework. You got the lab work and evaluation, rest, zest, food supplements, your environment, and medicinal herbs. Those 6 things, those are all you need. The reason the infinity symbol is around it is to remind you of the idea of balance, and also the idea of we're looking at ways that we can do this in the most consistent way possible. Consistency wins 100% of the time. If we make a plan that you can only keep up for 2 weeks, that's not going to work. Okay, we need a plan that you could keep up for 20 years. We need a plan that you could keep up for at least 2 years, and it needs to be something that you can do consistently. And that is really what we're going to be talking about in the next video. So I'll save that for a little bit. But let's look at the holistic healing framework in terms of 1 through 6, just to give it a nice simple look for you, so you're not like having to go around these triangles, right? It's first we have the lab work and the evaluation, next rest, finally zest, right? Lab work and evaluation is the most important thing, and that's where we try to gather as much data as possible to make decisions. Rest is getting enough sleep, getting that meditation time, allowing yourself time to unwind, not constantly triggering all of your pathways by looking at screens and constantly consuming content, right? Giving yourself those breaks. Zest, having positive relationships, having supportive relationships, having hobbies that you like to do just for fun, just for the chase, just for the thrill of what you like to do, and doing them regularly, scheduling them, taking the time to actually do it. Number 4 is making decisions about what food and supplements and hydration you're going to do in your life. Number 5 is your environment, right? Is it clean in your house? Is it messy in your house? How can you schedule in time or figure out a way to completely clean up your life? Environment could also be what kind of people are around you all the time. How can you maybe get rid of toxic people in your life or invite new positive people into your life? It's also hot exposure, cold exposure, really controlling what's in your immediate vicinity in a way that makes you happy and fulfilled and makes you feel good. That's really what we're looking at with environment. And of course, we talk about sauna as well, specifically for Lyme disease, because I found a lot of benefits from using sauna myself. My clients, I always recommend it to them because it's too good to just skip it. Like it's not as hard to do as you might think to just get 20 minutes in each day of sauna, or even twice a week of sauna, and just get that sweat out of your body, get that water out of your body, and then replace it with new fresh water. And doing that really helps the body then detox through all 3 ways that is allowed. And then finally, we have medicinal herbs, and they really come in, ramp everything up, start using restorative therapy in order to restore the body, right? We're looking at healing and really repairing endothelial cells, protecting endothelial cell structures, modulating the immune system. We don't want it to get too crazy, just balanced out to where it can kill the things that it needs to kill and operate effectively. And we want to lower inflammation, as well as just basically boost our health, like slowly increase your immune system, slowly increase the amount of time that you spend outside, slowly increase the way that you feel about your life, about yourself, and about everything in your life. And it comes with medicinal herbs as being kind of the cornerstone of everything. Medicinal herbs are really the only thing that aren't immediately available to you. The rest of these 5 things are available to you right away, right now. The medicinal herbs, those are things that need to come from somewhere else, like from us when we launch our herbal line a little bit later. Now, this, in between these 2, this is where the decisions are made. Okay? So you can see right here, decisions. Right in between these 2. So the lab work and evaluation is really what's going to help us make decisions, but we're also going to look at your rest, your zest, what is going on in your actual life. Then we're going to make decisions about what kind of food and supplements you need, what kind of hydration you need, what you should do for your environment, and which medicinal herbs you should take and how many and how often. And when you have this entire holistic healing framework, healing really becomes just a matter of time. It really just becomes, let me just stay consistent with this. Let me just do this for as long as possible, and I will get better. And you will get better. You can take back your body and feel like yourself again. Just like I started this whole presentation with, I know you can do it. I've seen people do it. I've helped people do it. And I know for a fact that this framework is what works. This is the thing that can be duplicated over and over and over and over and over again. This is the system that everybody needs in order to heal Lyme disease, and it's going to change the whole way people approach Lyme disease. The more and more people that get their hands on this, the more and more people will heal from the inside out, and we'll just see it start to explode with people that are finally getting the help that they need. So, look, changing habits might sound like that's the hard part. Like you're like, okay, I get it. I need this holistic healing framework. I need to do these steps. I need to really fully understand my body from the inside out. I need to reach for balance and homeostasis. And you're absolutely right. But then you're like, wait, I don't know if I can change my habits. That sounds really hard. Like right now I'm comfortable in my life. I don't know if I could change everything. But what if there was a way to make changing habits easy? Right? What if it wasn't difficult to go and change your habits and start to build a healthy lifestyle? Well, honestly, it all comes down to having a system for decisions and a support system, right? It all comes down to having the right people around you, and having people that want to see you succeed, and also having a system for making decisions when it gets difficult, right? For example, if your family makes it very difficult to eat healthy because they don't want to eat what you're eating if you're eating healthy, you need a system in place that allows your family to get on the same page with you. And I've had to build that into my life because I have 2 kids that are extremely picky eaters, and I have to figure out a way where I can eat healthy and they can eat healthy and everybody gets what they want. So it's all about creating a system and having a support system, and that's what we're going to discuss in the next training, hopefully next week. Oh wait, next week is Christmas. Next weekend is Christmas. I might not do it on the weekend. Maybe I'll wait till Monday, Tuesday, or I'll wait until it's a good day for everyone. But the next training that I do for free here on YouTube Live is going to be about creating a system for decisions, having a support system, and making it easy to change your habits so that you're not totally overwhelmed. I know you're in a place now where you're saying, okay, I get this holistic healing framework, but I don't think I can do it because I don't think I can change my habits because I don't know if I have the willpower or I have the way. And I know how that feels. I know exactly who you are if you're saying that. And that's why I'm creating the next training for you that's going to allow you to change your habits. It's actually going to make it easier and kind of remove the dark, gloomy stuff out of the picture to show you, like, look, it's actually easy. Like, you don't have to do all that. You can just do this. And it's very simple, straightforward, step by step. I can't wait to show you. So if you haven't already, sign up at LymeDiseaseWars.com. If you go there right now, you're going to see a page where you can put in your email address, and the reason for that is so that you can get on the email list and you'll know every time I go live. You'll know what's going on. You'll also be on an early bird list to get access to our medicinal herbs and get access to our entire Warriors Club of training. You'll get access to everything that we have just by putting your email in, by going to LymeDiseaseWars.com, put your email in, and then you'll be on the list. And guess what? You'll get discounts. You'll get special prizes. You'll get all types of stuff because you're on that early bird list. So go there now, sign up for that, LymeDiseaseWars.com. That way you can be in the know, you can be in the circle, and we can start to really introduce you to the rest of the things that we have going on really, really soon. We can't wait to share all this stuff with you. It's been a long time in the making, and you are a very, very important part of it. That being said, if you have anything, if there was one thing that you were like, oh, I hope he doesn't skip this in the training, like if you have something that you really want to know about when it comes to your specific Lyme disease case, like I hope he never skips this, I really want to know about this one specific thing, comment that below. Let me know what that is. What is the one thing that you need to make sure is within the thing that I'm making for you? Right, I'm making a video series for you. What is the one thing you want to make sure that I don't skip or miss? Put that in the comments below, and that's really going to help me with creating a training that's specifically for you, the person watching this, so that you can start to help me build what's going to help you the most. Because my whole goal is really just to help you. I'm not here to, do anything other than to help people who have Lyme disease, because I had it. I know what it's like. I dealt with all the problems, and I saw how many people are suffering, and I said, somebody has to take responsibility. Somebody has to change this. I'm going to be that somebody. So I'm here and I'm staying. And if you want me to go over one specific thing, what would that one thing be? Let me know in the comments, and go to LymeDiseaseWars.com. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel as well so you know when we go live. And I'll see you in the next live video. Thank you so much for joining me this hour. My name is Ryan Kearns, and I appreciate you a lot. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time and attention. I know it's not easy to choose where your attention goes, and if you're choosing to spend it with me, it doesn't come lightly. I truly appreciate it, and I truly am grateful for your support. So thank you, and I'll see you next time.